What's the purpose behind the marketing plan? You excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Let's do this, right? Let's do this and let's have fun with it too. To my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you being here. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with In-Depth Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today for episode 200 episodes and 25. Wow, that's a lot. So let's get into some meat and potatoes of something that I think is absolutely critical if you have a website. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you need a website. I've harped on this, but sometimes I just misplace simple. So without further ado, let me say thank you to all my worldwide listeners and all that who rocks with me, because I think it's super important that moving forward, you understand what this looks like. And I want you to know that, look, your website is important. So if you're listening for the first time, thank you for joining the show. I hope this helps. And for my worldwide listeners, oh my God, my apologies for missing the gap, missing the mark, missing the opportunity to help educate you on the back end of a WordPress website. Now, look, here's what I'm about to do. I'm about to share something with you that we've done this website, and it is one of those things to where, man, it's crazy that when people start getting into it, they're like, oh, it's no big deal of doing a website because you have Weebly, Wix, Squarespace, Google. They have all these opportunities for you to get in the game, right? Which is totally fine. I 100% believe that if you don't have a website, you should start with your own so you can understand the rigor that it takes. However, it is no joke. And I'm not just saying that so you can come to me and I can build your website, or my team have, because I'm not going to do all of it. I'm not going to probably even do 10% of it. My team would do that because we have been building websites for almost 10 years. I've been doing websites for almost 20 when I started learning how to code in Visual Basic and C. But websites are completely different, especially when they hit HTML, and then on and on and on. I will spare it because you want to get into the back end of a WordPress website. So let me get started. I'm going to share my screen just like I did last time, because I said it's super important that you understand how to go about this. And so right now you are looking at a website that we built probably about, ooh, man, I'm going to say probably 2020, 2021, 22. And you see the URL right there is nftmural.org. I'm just going to go right now. I'm on the front end of the site. If you see some stuff on the top that you would not see otherwise. And it was really about creating an opportunity to help a nonprofit, but to inspire unity for the future. You can see otherwise, right? But it was the mission, purpose, and vision. We wanted to get into the NFTs because back then the NFTs were such a big deal. And we wanted to focus on getting the minority, the global majority, if you will, Black and brown folks in a place where they can show their visual arts ability and the NFT market. Now, NFT, if you remember back in the day, is the non-fungible tokens. There's lots of ways that you can get into it. It was hot, and it was really cool. But you know what? I just decided, like, I've been keeping this site alive. And oh, I should also say that we did a real live mural, which is super cool. I don't know if it's still up. If I click on the Instagram right here, I don't know if it would take you there. I'm guessing it will. Maybe, yes, it did, but I need to share that screen. Let me share that right there because I want you to see the mural, which is super important. Because I think, when we start looking at, and I'm going to just share that the tabs here, man, it was done quite some time ago. And this is what it looked like, which was really cool. Here's a Instagram page. We kept it up. I thought it was really cool. Oh, 2021. So over 3 years ago, this was the inspiration. You should go to the website. It's PDX NFT Mural. Go check it out. I did a podcast with Kent Lewis about it because it was his building that we actually did, and it was really cool. That's the actual building. We did a mural on it, and down here is where we have kind of just our signatures. But and I think he got it right here. This is the actual, like I said, like if you do a QR code on his building, and you'll see that that was what it looked like. He had a crane, and they just started painting it. Now, and they see a drone shot of that, which was cool. I'm going to come back here to the website, and what you see we did, I'm going to come back to the home page, and you can see that through here, there was an opportunity where we can engage what on the first fold. Before you scroll down, you can continue to see cool things that happen throughout both Portland and in the arts community. And I think this is a shame that we haven't been able to do more. And I just like, you know what? This is one of the coolest sites. So I thought I should give you the opportunity to check it out, because on the back end side, it was a lot of work. So let me just go ahead and go to the back end of it. And it does take a little bit to load, but I'm also going to keep this website open. I'm going to go back as if to the Instagram page so you can make sure you get that. It's and that's me. If you haven't already seen that, Nathan Webster 543 on IG. But go to PDX NFT Mural as this is loading. It's taking a minute. Here we go. All right, so this is the back end of a website, WordPress website. For my clients, I do hold a hosting server, WordPress engine. I used to host on GoDaddy, and they just didn't work out for me. So I like to ensure that all my folks are going to be taken care of client-wise, to where they're going to be perfectly content. Now, a back end of a website is pretty intense, and I'm not going to show you everything. I just want to show you a couple of things that I think is really important. So up here, and not all websites are the same, but this is where we have gotten our theme. And this is where it has posts, as in your blogs, the media as in images, your pages, your comments if you are an active blogger. And in the website, and let me go ahead and click dismiss. In the website, there's ways that you can design, and we use Elementor for this. And there's also just standard things that you can use, like WordPress forms that came with the theme. And a theme is like the kind of internal guts, because a WordPress site is, I need to ensure that you understand that it's not WordPress.com, it's a WordPress.org. And here's where it gets tricky, because you can say, well, I can do that. And we've done a website to convert it from a .com to .org, and it's not that simple. So I'm just going to move over to pages here, because I want you to see the home page. And I'm going to open this up on another tab right here. Move this here back to where you saw before. And I'm going to move over to pages, and I'm just going to go to what we call the home page, the front page. And I'm going to have this be done in a new tab. I know you didn't see that window, but I'm opening that up in a new tab, and then now it doesn't want to work. Come on, it can do it. Oh, here we go. Actually, it is working, but here's the Elementor that is loading, doing it through an Elementor versus you doing it through CSS, HTML. I haven't been in here, so it's like, okay, let's skip. But Elementor is a great spot, or a great tool to use if you want to use it. There's other tools to use as well. As you look in the back end here, here is kind of like a Microsoft Word document, if you will, or a Google document. You can customize things by going in here, you can come in here to see the content, and in the content, you can see it's kind of taking a minute to load. Don't do that. 1 second here. Let me just come here. Come on. And in here, you see the content, and I'm trying to highlight it, but because it's white, you can't see it. And so give me just 1 second here. I'm trying to, here, let me just do this. Text, oh, it's not there. Oh, it's not there. So now we get into where, as you can see, I haven't gotten in here and played with it. So as I'm playing with it, I'll just come here to the flip box, and I'm not going to play with it too much, because you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't want to break it. But let me move down to here where I know I can play around with it. You come into here, and there's ways that you can edit this on the front X section. Right? When I say the front section, as in, and you know what? I'm going to get off of this page because I do not want to break it. This is something that I would say is pretty important to me. So let me use a different page, because our developer that built that, it took her like a good, I think, 20 hours, and I don't want to mess that up, because I just don't want to start clicking on stuff. So my apologies for that example. However, it is a great way for you to understand that when you are in the back end, even though I have it backed up, when you start clicking on stuff, which I can show you how to do it, it can get kind of funky. So there's different ways you can go about it, and this is where I wanted to show you about how, as you saw me here, click on this side, it shows up on here. It also shows you that you can do a line here, and you can say, click on it to benefit the whole community. And then what's going to happen from here is now I can say I'm ready to save it. I can come over here and hit update, or I can come down here and there's a place. Oh, I would say I would do that on, let me just do it here. And there's another place that you can do it down at the bottom, but there's multiple ways to do it. And as you can tell, since I haven't been in here for a while, it takes some time getting discombobulated. But this is the back end, and I'm doing on the front, which you can do. But there's another way that you can do it where I'm coming here, and I want to edit the page. And I don't recommend this, but if I come into here, and I can start going through this section here. And in this section, you start clicking on here, you go into here. But for the most part, I don't know why I keep showing that, my bad. Like into here, you can come into here and you can say, I want to change this, right? And this is where you hide in it, but I can click that if I don't want to show that anymore, because say like you've done the work and you did it, you can change it that way. And this is a way right here to where you can create this on the front end. There's another way that you can do on the back end. Oh, also on the text, you can, if you know the HTML code, it allows you to do it right there. And sometimes it's just easier to do that. You just got to know how to do that. I'm just showing you the simplicity of how to change things. It's a lot more complex than what that is. Like, for example, right here, this is a button, because let's say if you wanted to add something, you got the triple ellipsis right here, and you can add things from an image, text, and this is a button right here. And in the button, you just move it over, and it can be right there, right? And then it populates, right? You see this button, but I don't want that there. So let me just delete it. And since I'm doing this on double screens, I want to edit that out. And I am going to hit cancel. And I'm trying to do this in a way that I don't mess anything up. So I'm going to click this. and come here. And let's see if I can just delete it through here. I just right clicked and I'm going to do that again. For some reason it did too. I didn't want that. But I'm also just going to get out of here. It's going to ask me if I want to save. And I'm going to say yes. Or no, I don't want to save. Uh, so I'm going to come back to the main page. And this is where, as I had to minimize this, I'm going to expand it now. And that's pages. I'm going to go to posts. And in this post, like we don't have this categorized. And when you can categorize things by coming into, again, I'm just going to say edit with Elementor. I just did a right click and say open a new tab. And right now it's uncategorized, but we want this to be categorized. And it's a quick edit. You can just come here and here, actually we can't do it this way from here. We could do it in another way by coming here to the categories. I'm gonna open this in a new tab because you can change this here and you can add it when you start going into the different sections. But I'm not going to mess with it. I could do it right here and add it by saying NFTs in Portland. Okay, I can do it there and I can just add it. But I'm not going to. But here, let me just do it this way. Oops. I just hit enter. And for some reason, my screen is glitching. But as you can see right here, NFTs in Portland. And actually, I will change it now that I just did it. Then make it easier. I'm going to come back to here and say, okay, I'm going to refresh. And I want all my stuff to be now under just in a quick edit, NFTs in Portland. I don't want that done. It's been a while since I've been up in here. So it is kind of funny to come in here and do this work. But this is kind of like when people say like, man, how come my website's not done? It does take a little bit of time. And it's kind of like with media. And I don't know if we've done this because it was so long ago. This was a kind of like a rush job. It was fun. It was really fun. We had a great time. But this is like SEO right here. We got, the right SEO in here when it comes to the meta descriptions. This one we do not, as you see. This one we do. But this was just the artwork that our artists had and who they were. And it was cool because, again, when we look at all of this was done in less than 6 months. But that is some of the back end that's pretty important. Another element that's pretty important, and I need to make sure I move my mic over as I'm sharing my screen. And I'm trying to make sure I talk directly into the mic and show you some things. So I showed you, I showed you the pages, but I didn't show you Astra, which is the theme. You can find so many different themes out there that will work on your behalf. If you use a stock one, and I'm sorry, this has taken a minute. If you're using a stock theme, it may not give you a lot of options. So themes do cost money. This theme, it's just an asterisk. You can Google it, but we had to do a lot of customization, and right now it's taking a minute to load. But in this theme, or in this, it's kind of think of it as a house. We had to build the rooms. We have to put the furniture in there. And I always like to say, we as an agency, as the developers, we are the baking utensils, the KitchenAid, like the mixer, the bowl, the pan. And our client is the chef. They have the ingredients. Man, this is taking a really long time to load. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Oh, there it goes, maybe. I was about to say, man, this is taking a minute. And so here's where we build everything to where you don't have to worry about this from, like you see here, the menu, the layout, the typography, the colored blog options, all this stuff we build. You can customize it. There's lots of ways you can customize it. As you can see, it took a minute to get there. We can build that by also using Elementor, which is the design that we overlay with it. But it just takes a lot of work. And look, I'm only 20 minutes into it, this podcast, as you see, but we haven't even gotten into the the nuts and bolts and the potatoes of what that looks like. So I won't go into like all these other things, but as you can see in this menu right here, there's so many different options. And here I'll come to the theme part, because let's just say you want to start your own WordPress website and play around, and we can end on this because I want you to be able to see that, like right here, we have this theme, but there's other themes available. And like, for example, I can hit delete because we don't need this, because WordPress does provide every WordPress shell, the WordPress.org, provides you a shell to work with when, come on, I hit delete. It's going to take a minute. Okay, there we go. They provide you a theme to work on, but you don't need to use it if you don't want to. However, this is how I got started. This is how my company got started. And I'm just deleting this because it does take up a little bit of space. And you want your site to not have a ton of space. So the cool thing about here is once you figure out how to start doing just little simple things, you don't have a lot of options, but you can see what's available. If I click add new theme, different themes will pop up, some of the themes that I already deleted, but you can also install a theme by saying you can upload a theme right there, and you have different ones as you can see it's thinking, but it starts here with a theme. Now, I do not encourage you to build it from scratch. Matter of fact, see, it just hit no. And that was weird. Never seen that happen before. But it starts with the theme of what you are going to start with. And then from there, you can choose the way to customize it with your widgets, your menus. But some of that is already installed and given to you in your theme that you purchase. The theme that you purchase will allow you to do so much more and customize it. And from there, it comes with stock photos. And then you can replace it, and it's different ones to do. And I can just share with you. And let me just stop sharing my screen real fast because, whoops, let's just do this way. All right, there we go. Let me share with you just one place where I've gotten themes from, and maybe you want to get your theme from there. I'm not going to get any special credit, so don't think like, oh, you're just showing me this so I can get money from it. Don't worry, I'm not. It's called Theme Forest, and I'm going to go back to share my screen real fast because I'm way over my time, but it's called Envato Market, and Envato Market is one of the places where we started getting our themes from. You can see that there's different types of themes that you can get. Just put in the search and you can search it. And again, it's even though it's called Envato Market, it's themeforce.net. So once you get signed in, it will like list all the themes that I bought. But there's so many things that you can get that when it comes to just themes and templates for, like they say, any project that you're looking at, especially e-commerce has been a big deal, and WooCommerce has been one of those e-commerce plugins that you can use. Oh, I didn't talk about the plugins, but they are pretty important. So every time you get a plugin and things to keep your site up and running starts with these plugins right here. So these plugins create that customization that you're looking for in your website. And so the theme when it comes to what you're looking for is important. And as you can see here, we have unactive ones, must use that are not being used. We've disabled all these, but this becomes sometimes really important. Sometimes it is not important, and sometimes it's critical. And sometimes if you really be honest with what you're trying to do, you can say, this is per my business model, my funnel how I get my clientele, and how I acquire clients or customers. So your plugins are the meat and potatoes. And say like a Wix or a Weebly or a Squarespace, one of the biggest plugins that are not included in those websites are Google Analytics. So those are all things that are really important to understand, because when you start measuring things, you want to be able to figure out truly what is the traffic you're getting to determine whether or not the data to make the best decision for your site, your business, and ultimately the bottom line. So that was a long podcast, and for those that stayed with me to the very end, you get a cookie. But hopefully that helped in just showing you a very small sliver of the back end of a WordPress website that was highly customizable. As you saw in the very beginning, I was trying to do something. I'm like, nope, let me get out of here. I don't want to break it. Here's where hours and hours can be spent for something that is so small people can just scroll through. But I can't tell you how many hours we spent on it. It was more than 50. And congrats to my, I'm grateful for my developer. She worked her butt off, and it is beautiful. We had a couple of developers on this, so wasn't just her. But I know we crushed the site. Everybody was happy. The event was a good time. If you haven't already, go check it out. But if you are in need of a website, and I'm really creating this podcast because people have asked me, what are the details of a website? What does that look like? And I tell people all the time, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it when it's done. But it's going to take you as a baker, me, or us, and I say me, but it's really my team, as the tools to make sure that at the end of it, we're both sitting down enjoying those cookies together, aka your website. So with that, I wish y'all nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed. Until next time. Hey, make sure you also subscribe, share, review, and rate the show. Till next time, I'm out. Hey, if you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others that may be interested in this topic. And also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or social media networks. See you next week for the next episode.